Coming up on today's edition of Airborne, NAFI loses its leader. Boeing sees record-setting performance in 2012. And if you're going to the LSA Expo in Sebring, ANN will see you there. I'm Ashley Hale. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. Well, NAFI has had several tough years, which has seen it engaged in a number of scandals and the separation of a significant relationship with the EAA. And in the latest sign of the times, NAFI Executive Director Jason Blair notified the Board of Directors over the weekend that he is resigning his position he has held since May of 2008. Leaving the position was a difficult decision, Blair said, quote, because I've invested my heart and soul in its mission, but resigning offers the best possible future for the organization and myself. I fully support the mission of NAFI and hope the association and its members can find a way to continue the growth of the association and eventually return to a point where the position of an executive director is financially sustainable, end quote. NAFI was founded in 1967, and its members, who now teach in 17 countries, are dedicated to raising and maintaining the professionalism of flight instruction. Blair noted that NAFI has made major revisions in its operations, but the lack of strategic partners continues to challenge the organization's ongoing operations. Boeing says it completed 2012 with a record-setting performance. 1,203 net commercial airplane orders were booked in 2012, the second largest number in company history. The company also delivered 601 airplanes, the most since 1999. Boeing's unfilled commercial airplane orders at the end of the year stood at 4,373, which is the most in company history. The 737 program broke the record for orders for any Boeing model in a single year, accumulating 1,124 net orders. In addition, the next generation 737 set a new single-year record with 415 deliveries to customers worldwide. The 737 program also celebrated its 10,000th order in 2012. Boeing's leadership in the wide-body market also continued in 2012. The year began with the 5-continent 787 Dream Tour and ended with 11 787 deliveries in December to 7 customers. To date, 49 787s have been delivered to 8 customers. Boeing employees executed several production rate increases in 2012, allowing the plane maker to increase deliveries by 26%. The 2013 US Sport Aviation Expo is nearly upon us, and the Aero-News Network will be there in full force, webcasting live from the grounds. ANN's top journalists will be on site reporting on everything the expo has to offer, and if that weren't enough, ANN will be unveiling details about the 3rd edition of its pivotal Sport Plane Resource Guide, straight from the show. No aviation entity currently reaches as many people on a daily basis as ANN, so if you have a story you'd like us to cover, please send all relevant information and materials to news@aero-news.net. Of course, you can read more about our planned coverage at www.aero-news.net. While Congress reached a last-minute tax deal to avoid the fiscal cliff, its decision to move consideration of major budget cuts until the end of February still presents potential threats to GA. Industry associations such as the EAA warn that mandatory budget cuts at the FAA could cause delays in services such as aircraft certification, supplemental type certificate approval, and other administrative activities. Essential services such as air traffic control and aviation safety operations will continue without any impact, according to the FAA Administrator Michael Huerta. The delayed consideration of budget cuts, however, does create the potential for GA to be swept into a variety of ominous spending and budget cut measures, that would not be reviewed separately, which might include user fees and other taxation strategies. Doug McNair, EAA's Vice President of Government Relations, says, quote, EAA and other aviation groups will continue to monitor the budget situation closely and work with our allies on the Hill to minimize any adverse impact on GA, both immediately and in the long term, end quote. Likewise, the Aerospace Industry Association, AIA, says that a permanent solution to the fiscal cliff's sequestration is needed to give stability to the aerospace industry and the economy as a whole. AIA President and CEO Miriam Blakey said in a statement, quote, "We expect Congress will use the next 2 months to find thoughtful alternatives to ill-conceived, indiscriminate budget slashing. More than 2 million Americans across all sectors of the economy will lose their jobs if our political leaders fail to fix the self-inflicted wound of sequestration. Delaying implementation of sequestration by 2 months does not eliminate the uncertainty. If sequestration is not solved, it would be an abdication of responsibility by the leaders of this country, one that will only heighten American cynicism and cement the public image of a gridlocked Washington that simply does not work." You're watching Airborne, more in a moment.
Redbird Skyport is a multifaceted aviation laboratory charged with developing innovative solutions to the issues facing the industry.
It started out as a vision for a laboratory where we could objectively measure the systems and the processes that we were developing. Being able to put some objective measures behind the anecdotal evidence that we have about the value of motion and the application of this technology is very, very important, because until we can objectively measure it and play that data back, we can't design training systems that make the best use of it.
For more information about Redbird flight simulations, as well as Redbird's new Skyport, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com or www.redbirdskyport.com.
Well, if you have a story suggestion for Airborne, our website, or any of our programs, drop us an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Well, in a change of pace from the national employment news, Gulfstream plans to increase employment in its Appleton, Wisconsin facility by approximately 100 positions in the next year to support growing volume and completions work for Gulfstream large cabin aircraft, which includes the recently certified G650. The site currently has approximately 725 employees, including nearly 425 technicians. Gulfstream Appleton is home to a completion center and service center. It has approximately 275,000 square feet of hangar, shop, and support space. Completion work includes the design, selection, and installation of the cabin configuration and layout, furniture, seats, carpets, and sidewall treatments, entertainment and communication systems, and galley and lavatory fixtures. Gulfstream Appleton is located just 20 miles from Oshkosh. An FAA wing seminar planned for Sebring Airport during the annual LSA Expo will focus on how to become a light sport pilot. Tom Patton has more.
The seminar will be led by Professor H. Paul Shook, who will speak to light sport aircraft and the sport pilot rules. The 9 a.m. session, titled "If You Can Drive, You Can Fly," will be held at the Middle T Hangar in the Sport Aviation Expo Forum area. According to the FAA's seminar description, quote, "Over 100 beautiful new aircraft have been introduced, several thousand have been sold, the required time to get a pilot's license has been halved, and private pilots flying under these rules no longer have to get a medical certificate," end quote. They say the LSA designation has also been a boon to older pilots who no longer have to worry about renewing their medicals or expensive annual checkups for special issuances. In publicizing the seminar, the FAA says that the light sport category, which was created in 2004, quote, "offers affordable, safe, basic aircraft for many people who would otherwise be unable to fly," end quote. The forum will be held January 18th at the Sebring Regional Airport in the Middle T Hangar It's limited to 50 people. For Airborne, I'm Tom Patton.
It's Tuesday and time for Aero Video of the Week. Well, with the LSA Expo coming up later this month in Sebring, Florida, LSA is on our mind and in today's video. It's an overview of UL Power's light aero engine, featuring some very cool animation about how the engine is constructed. Find this video on YouTube by searching UL Power Light Aircraft Engine, and we guarantee the gearheads will enjoy it. A Jasper, Alabama teenager who was fatally injured when the plane he was piloting went down on what was thought to be a stolen joyride did not steal the plane after all. 17-year-old high school junior Jordan Smith and two of his friends were killed when the Piper PA-30 Twin Comanche went down at night in a swampy wooded area less than a mile from the Walker County Airport in Jasper, Alabama. The accident occurred on Tuesday, January 1st. Weather conditions were reported to be overcast with a low cloud ceiling. At first, it was reported that Smith had stolen the plane, apparently to take his friends on a joyride. Further investigation proved that not to be the case. Smith's mother said the plane's owner had given her son a set of keys to the aircraft and the gate code for entry into the airport, and that, quote, he had used the plane many times before. The Associated Press reports that Smith had already been offered an aviation scholarship at Wallace State Community College. Still, it was an ill-advised flight, summed up by Walker County Airport Manager Edwin Banks, who said, quote, it was a student pilot flying an airplane without permission, an airplane that he was not qualified to fly at night, end quote. To add to the mix, he had his friends on board, and the situation was clearly an accident waiting to happen, and unfortunately it did. Finally, today on Airborne, a rescue helicopter attempting to save a swimmer who had ventured out into rough water off Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro on December 29th suffered an unspecified mechanical difficulty and wound up going down in the water. Not surprisingly, a bystander captured the event on video with their smartphone. In the video, the Helo can be seen flying over the water at a low altitude with a person poised in the open main door. As the aircraft nears the area where the swimmer is in difficulty, it appears to pitch up slightly. The aircraft then settles into the water in what appears to be a textbook auto rotation, and it's pulled under by the rough surf. Other aircraft are quickly dispatched to the scene, and the beachgoers give a round of applause as the crew from the original aircraft and the swimmer come ashore. The BBC reports that there were warning signs on the beach cautioning swimmers against venturing out into the rough surf. Well, remember, you can get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories at aero-news.net. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.